What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and almost every single day now, somebody's asking me, will there be a fourth stimulus check? Well, in today's video, I want to dive into the facts and let you know exactly where things stand with the stimulus package and potential fourth stimulus checks. This is your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, stick around to the end as well if you want to get my personal opinion on whether or not we'll be seeing this included here, and if so, when we will likely see it as well. So I'm going to dive into an article, get you caught up on all the facts as of today, May 1st, 2021. But before we do, if you can do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, don't forget to smash the like button, leave some comments, and share this video out on social media platforms. Those simple gestures just take a second. They help me out a lot. Thank you so much. And if this is your first time here, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Consider joining me on Instagram at SteveRam3. It's a great way to get a hold of me, or the new Patreon group as well. And also, always remember that here on YouTube, whenever I respond to your comments, you're always going to see a gray stripe. And if you don't see that, it's not me. It's one of those pesky imposters. So with that being said, though, let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest about the possibility of us getting fourth stimulus checks. Alright guys, so I found an article that is current, just came out today, and has a lot of good facts on the fourth stimulus check. Link in the description below if you'd like to read it for yourself. And this one says, fourth stimulus check update, possible amount and timeline. And it says everything that you'll want to know about another round of stimulus checks. Now the article says, a fourth stimulus check could bring another round or recurring rounds of relief payments to eligible Americans. More stimulus checks have already been proposed, even while the third stimulus check is still being sent out right now. Now, several U.S. senators, they wrote a letter last month asking President Biden to consider recurring payments as well as automatic insurance extensions as part of his Build Back Better economic plan. Now, during his address to Congress last week, though, listen to this. Biden said that more than 85% of Americans have received that $1,400 stimulus check, but he did not mention a fourth stimulus check. And this was very concerning to a lot of people, as they were expecting for a fourth check to be mentioned in that infrastructure package, and it was not. Now, reading on, it says, so as it stands, there's no legislation supporting a fourth stimulus check. There aren't specific stimulus check guidelines on the table. And the most noteworthy economic effort in government currently is President Biden's $2.25 trillion infrastructure investment proposal, which does not include fourth checks. Now, hold on though, before you lose all hope. Let's continue reading, as they're going to mention a couple other things here. It says the infrastructure bill doesn't mention a fourth stimulus check or direct payments similar to those millions have received over the course of the pandemic. Rather, it's a long-term initiative to rescue, recover, and rebuild the country's financial standing. Now, instead, the president's American Families Plan, which, just to clarify, is the last portion of the infrastructure package, and if we see a fourth stimulus check, it'll likely be in the American Families Plan. It says, which is separate from the American Jobs Plan. The American Family Plan will seek to send stimulus payments of sorts to low-earning people with kids. Biden has proposed extending the child tax credit, where families will receive a tax credit of $3,600 for children under the age of 6 and $3,000 per child over that age through the year 2025, up to 12 weeks of paid leave, and also subsidies for childcare. Now listen to this. It says, that's not to say that another widespread stimulus check can't be written into the next major economic initiative. Although the consensus currently is that a fourth stimulus check isn't likely, many initially also questioned the need for the second and the third checks as well. So they're reminding us that right now, even though it's not high priority in Congress and it seems unlikely, we also saw that with the second and third checks, and those came to pass as well. Now, if we see a fourth stimulus check, what will be the likely amount of the checks? Well, the article says that the fourth stimulus check amount depends on several factors, but if passed, it would probably look similar to the previous checks, although that's not guaranteed. Now, just a reminder, the last checks, the first one was $1,200, second one was $600, and the third one was $1,400. Now, there's been a lot of talk about a $2,000 stimulus check. Some people have mentioned monthly $2,000. Some have said monthly $1,000. We will see, but I think it's going to be very contingent upon the state of the economy as to the amount, whether it'll be larger or smaller if we see a fourth check. And also, we've started to see modifications to eligibility. So it's also possible that those that received checks before, if the economy is improving and they decide a fourth check is necessary, you might not get it this time if eligibility becomes less. Now, if things get worse, the eligibility might stay the same or increase, and they could increase the amounts. We will see, but right now, there is no set amount on the table. Now, if a fourth check is going to be coming out, when will we likely see one? Well, the article says right now there is no fourth stimulus check timeline or fourth stimulus check release date. Until legislation is in motion, we can't know how soon more relief money will arrive. We can't say whether more relief money is going to be coming at all at this point. And it says, that said, the third stimulus check timeline, when it happened rather quickly, as you'll recall. We actually saw direct deposits happen one day after it was signed into law. And it said it only took a few weeks for Congress to debate President Biden's American Rescue Plan. And then once the president signed the bill, $1,400 checks were put in motion right away. So if we see legislation come out for this, it is agreed upon and passed into law, it'll roll out very quickly. But when that's going to be happening, right now at this point, there is no timeline. Now, a big question that a lot of people have been wondering is, are $2,000 monthly stimulus checks possible? Now, the article says that in response to President Biden's $2.25 trillion proposal, a group of 21 senators sent a letter asking him to include monthly stimulus checks. Now, the group is calling for recurring payments, meaning that people would get monthly checks from the government. And they wrote, "We urge you to include recurring direct payments and automatic unemployment insurance extensions tied to economic conditions in your Build Back Better long-term economic plan." And this was from Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Now, we also saw another $2,000 monthly payment request coming from Ilhan Omar from the House of Representatives. So both chambers of Congress are calling for monthly checks from Democrats. And it says, if this amount sounds familiar, it's because now sitting Vice President Kamala Harris threw out support behind 2,000 recurring checks during the second stimulus check negotiations last summer. So in addition to that, we know that the vice president also supports monthly 2,000 recurring checks. Now, are we going to see another stimulus check in the year 2021? And I think the article makes a great point right here. I think this is very important. Take a look at this. It says, whether we get another stimulus check in 2021 depends on how much momentum proposals for more checks gain. So, in other words, we need members of Congress to support this. It's got to get a push. It's got to get support. And that will be key in us getting another check. And it says, our country's virus case counts have more or less plateaued in the last 2 months. Now, while there are fewer infections now than there were over the holidays, case counts are still much higher than they were over the summer last year when a second stimulus check was still on the table. So what they're saying is we got to get congressional support and we got to take a look at where things stand with the pandemic. And now an excellent question, do we actually need a fourth stimulus check? Now the article says, according to CNBC, there is a case for a fourth stimulus check that goes beyond just calls from lawmakers. It says the Economic Security Project, an organization that advocates guaranteed income, says there is a need for more stimulus checks. And we've heard that there have been a lot of data reports coming out saying that a fourth check or a fourth and fifth would help keep millions out of poverty, and some are calling for monthly reoccurring checks. And it says, we need at least one more check, said Adam Rubin, the campaign director of the Economic Security Project, who also said that stimulus checks should be automatic, not stalled like they were in the summer, and we need to get those out right away. He said that there was a huge gap between the $1,200 and the $600 payments. Now, during that period, up to 8 million people fell into poverty. Now, in addition, according to a recent U.S. Census Bureau, it says nearly 30% of Americans couldn't cover all of their household expenses in late March. Now, in addition to that, about 15% of renters have fallen behind on their rent. However, there have been positive signs for the economy that could make a fourth stimulus check less likely. The U.S. added 916,000 jobs in March as hiring improved and unemployment rates have declined down to 6%. So they're saying there's a lot of data out there supporting it, but also we are seeing improvements in the economy. So you guys, that's the end of the article. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as they're reporting to us that right now a fourth stimulus check is not included in the bills that are currently being proposed. However, it doesn't mean that it's off the table. We had the same thing with the second and the third, and they got snuck in at the last minute. Now, if you guys want to know my personal opinion on this, I think that it's kind of up in the air. We have to see what's going to unfold with Congress and with the economy and the pandemic. I think it's very likely that one could get snuck in at the last minute if there's a massive push from Democrats to get it included through the process of reconciliation only. If we have a bipartisan bill, I don't think there's any way it's going to get in, but if it's through reconciliation like we saw before, I think it's very likely it could get snuck in there. And this is all going to be contingent upon the status of the pandemic and the economy. Like I mentioned, things improve. The more things improve, I think the less and less likely it is for us to get a fourth check. But if things stay the same or even get worse as we get closer to the winter, that's when I think we could see a fourth check, is towards the end of 2021. As we heard, the American Jobs Plan, that's likely going to get passed here sometime during the summer after July. So I think that then the American Families Plan will come a couple months later, and we'll see if the virus increases, if things start to get worse, if a fourth check will get included, and if that's the case, I think it will be more likely. But once again, you guys, whatever unfolds, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date here on the channel, let you know the facts about what's unfolding, so that way you're up to date and current on everything going on with our economy, with stimulus, unemployment, and money. And once again, you guys, if you like and appreciate that, don't forget to smash that like button, leave your comments. This is your first time here, come and join the Ram fam. Smash the subscribe button. Consider following me on Instagram at SteveRam3. Get 2 free stocks in the link in the description below. Get some free crypto as well. Download those apps. And you guys, I hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. I'll keep you up to date. Take care. Have a great weekend. God bless. This is Steve.